This is me. This is my beloved wife, Sylvia. This is Sylvia's idea of sailing. This is my dream of sailing and my hope of circumnavigating the globe as a retirement project in 2029. This is Sylvia's reaction to that idea.
What? You got a quest?
I am on a 6-year quest to convince Sylvia that a circumnavigation is a wonderful adventure, but the clock is ticking, so join me as I search for the perfect yacht that Sylvia will love, and get all your ladies to subscribe and cheer Sylvia on in the comments. Welcome back to Naval Gazing at Camp David. This week we are again looking into the near future and the latest flagship of an innovative new brand made famous by a YouTube couple building one of the manufacturer's Kit Kats, a process that leaves me exhausted after watching just one of their episodes. I'm talking, of course, about Max Cruise and their upcoming launch, the Max 48 SC. Today, we will 1. Review its specifications, pricing, and layout against 3 similar new vessels. 2. Do a full tour asking, what would Sylvia say? 3. Naval gaze at an innovation and or an adjustment that might make life aboard just a little easier. 4. Have a look at the used market for 3 to 5-year-old pre-owned comparables. And 5. Give it a Dave score and compare the result with all our previously reviewed yachts. As always, all this fun will be sandwiched between a pairing of, in this case, a wonderful traditional cocktail made from local gin. There's just not a lot of local Vietnamese wines available in Vancouver. And a work of art from the same region as the guest yacht in an effort to capture the culture and people who gave birth to these wonderful vessels. Waves, wine, art, and ideas. What a civilized way to spend 30 minutes. So let's get going. From high above Vancouver, we head west across the Pacific to the western shores of the island of Taiwan and the Queen Long Marine Yards, home of last week's guest yacht, the Dixon-designed Hylas 57. From here, we hop southwest to Vietnam and the yards of Max Cruise Marine and this week's guest future yacht, the Max 48 SC. Finally, we take a quick stroll to the home of Saigon Baigur gin. Saigon Baigur is the first premium dry gin to be distilled in Ho Chi Minh City. It's a gin featuring fresh Buddha's hand and vapor-infused lotus flower. 12 distinctive local botanicals combined with 4 classic gin ingredients present a drink that is a Vietnamese take on the classic dry gin. The unique combination of local sourced botanicals gives Saigon Baigur a fresh and vibrant taste, inspired by the city it is distilled in. Today, we are trying Rainy Season, the perfect gin and tonic for rainy or cold days, garnished with rosemary to bring out the rich, spicy tones of Saigon Baigur.
Wow, that is completely unique and I actually quite enjoy it. Let's go have a look at that yacht. Cheers.
Having a look around the renders of this. Now, the vessel is undergoing a lot of changes. I think when I was in Annapolis a few weeks ago, Terry had said that it had just finalized the final design here. So obviously, Terry and his team are able to customize a lot of elements of this for you, far beyond standard production models. You can see the aft here in this version had a drop-down transom similar to the Windallow as far as raising and lowering the dinghy. However, he has since changed that to a solid transom, which you see here, because most of his clientele wanted an aft settee along with bottle storage and a barbecue center. Another point I'd like to make here is you can see right in some of these that the helm station is fixed against the forward bulkhead. It's a mid-bulkhead helm. However, again, some of them show a Versa helm. And I spoke to Terry and he's open to either one the client may desire. Having a look at the profile here, you can see we're comparing this week to the Fountain Peugeot Tana 47, the yet-to-be-launched Portofino 47, the Balance 482, the Naughtytech 48 Open, and the Max 48 SC. I stretched it to 5 because this is a fairly crowded space, and I did want to show a number of standard and a number of performance models so you can get a sense of how they compare. Looking up at the overall upwind sail area, the Balance 482 leads the pack with 162.5. After that, it's the Naughtytech 48 Open at 154, followed closely by the Max 48 SC at 151. The Portofino follows about 10 back at 141, and the Tana 47 at 129. Just to give you a close-up here of the profile, because the obviously the blue outline was a little difficult to see, but it's a very handsome profile. Nothing to complain about, not an extremely high freeboard. You can see the different dinghy davit system at the very aft here, which we'll talk about a little later. Hopping onto the cabin top, you can see the first two, the Fountain Peugeot and the Portofino, both have a fly lounge. And both now, actually, the Portofino 47 has the option of a full fly bridge as well as a bulkhead mid-helm. The Tana, of course, is the optimal, in my opinion, bulkhead mid-helm. Balance 482, again, very clean. You've got the bulkhead-mounted mid-helm with a full Versa helm that drops down to a very comfortable sheltered helm. You pull the hatch over the exposed helm, protect yourself completely, and you've got a seat, you've got all your instrumentation, you're looking straight out those massive solid glass forward windows. And as you can see back in the chat we had with Kirk and Kat, the view from there, as well as the forward chart table, is just outstanding. The Naughtytech, again, very clean, a lot of solar on top with those exposed aft helms, which you love them or you hate them. Fabulous for feel and seeing your sails, but very exposed. The seats, I can attest to, are very, very comfortable. And then we've got the Max 48 SC, which again has a mid bulkhead helm with the option of the Versa helm to give you shelter. What is really interesting, though, is the Max 48 SC has a forward cockpit. Now, this is not a control cockpit. This is a lounging cockpit, very similar to what Leopard and Bali are doing, and beautifully executed. You can also see the length of the hulls on the Max 48C and the amount of actual net there is up front, reducing any forward weight. Probably the most of, well, it definitely is the most of any of them here. Hopping down into the saloon, you can look across here. The Max 48 SC is a little hard to see, so I do have a blow-up of that. But heading across, I mean, the Portofino has a massive saloon area, and from the renders looks tremendous. Again, I'm dying to see this vessel, because if the renders do it justice, if the real thing looks like the renders, this will be a spectacular vessel. The Tana, very nice. They have gone with the idea of a coffee table inside instead of a full dining table, which I think is very bright. Everybody says that you eat in the aft cockpit most of the time anyway, so why cramp your saloon? Portofino has done exactly the same thing. The Balance has a foldable table there, and it's a very comfortable space. The sense of quality in the Balance with their veneers and everything is absolutely outstanding. Naughtytech 48, they have gone with a smaller saloon table, but it's there nevertheless. They have a split table set up in the aft cockpit, which looks quite nice. They have that controversial stand-up bar at the very center line forward there. I think it's a waste of space, but they tell me that on the 44 Open, it's a gathering spot, so who knows? We can't knock it until you try it. And then on the Max 48SC, we'll just have a quick look over here at the blow-up. You can see you've got that lovely forward cockpit. You've got a forward-facing nav. And then along the starboard side, you have the U-shaped settee and table, and then a full U-shaped galley at the aft port, giving you lots of bolster space. Out on the cockpit, this has changed a little bit. It's a more standard table as opposed to the angular one here that I've seen recently. And there is no dive platform at this point in time. There is a jut out of about 20 millimeters at a 10-degree angle to nestle your tender. Once we have a look at how the tender's lifted up there. But nice layout. Let's hop down now into the cabins. The Tana 47, good space around the aft, fore-aft berths. You do have real three-side access here. They've done a good job. And then, of course, on the passenger side, you have an athwartship full three-side in the bow. On the owner's hull, very spacious owner's hull with a massive shower that's very uniquely laid up there. Portofino 47, really spectacular owner's layout, full three-side, massive athwartship, couch, desk table, aft access into the bathroom so that, wet weather gear, you can just go straight in there if you wish. And then over on your passenger side, beautiful three-side access to a fore-aft, and then sort of a Pullman setup. I'm sure you've got different options to that forward passenger cabin. Balance 482, I just love what they do. They have the athwartship in the bow with full access doors into the forepeaks, so we can turn into a full walk-in closet for Sylvia. And then on the other side, you've got access to your sail locker from the inside as well. And then in the aft of the passenger side, in this layout, you've got the double bed there, wall to wall. What do my patrons say? The butt scoot bed. Thankfully, there's only one, but I think there's options for that aft area as well. And there's obviously options for the forward passenger side berth into a versatility room. Nautic 48 open. You got the butt scoot beds in the back. There is no three-side access. Very nice owner's hull with, I believe it's twin sinks up there. And then on the passenger side, you can order this as a two-cabin with a really versatile room up in the forepeak of the starboard hull. With all sorts of desks or bunks or you name it, you can do it there. The Max 48SC, let's have a quick look here. You can see you have a pseudo butt scoot bed on the owner's hull here. You've got starboard side stair access up there. With side access there, similar to sort of not quite as large a space as the Nautic or the old Katanas. And then really nice vanity, dressing seat, bench, good head, and then your shower and your washing machine in the forepeak, access through the shower. So very nicely laid out. Up and across to the other side, again, the same pseudo butt scoot, two-side access aft berth, and vanity. You've got an inboard starboard head and shower, and then forward a full three-side access athwartship berth with toilet or laundry workshop in the forepeak. There's a lot of options on this, and Terry strikes me as somebody who will do a lot for his clients as far as special requests go. He may be cringing when I say that, but he just seems very flexible on what he's willing to do for his clientele. Heading into the numbers here, going across the top line. Now, just so you're aware, the numbers in green are the home currency, if you will. They're the base currency upon which the prices are based. So Fountain Pajot obviously is French, and it's euros at 7,698. Then Portofino out of Dubai is U.S. base, so it starts out at U.S. 861, and that translates into currently 785,699. So very, very comparable with the Fountain Pajot. The balance base rate is U.S. dollars, made in South Africa, but the Phil and his team are from the U.S., and a base price of 1.1 million, turning into about a million even on the euro, which, you know, compared, you're paying a premium of about 200, maybe 220. Honestly, although for the Fountain Pajot, definitely worth the delta. We'll wait and see on the Portofino, because it's all aluminum. The 52, which I was just watching today, looks pretty good. We'll see what happens with that 47, but you may, obviously the balance, if you're a performance guy, definitely worth the premium there. The Nautica 48 Open, 900 grand in euros. Their finish inside is absolutely outstanding. One of the nicest of the bunch, although the balance offers more variety. Is it worth 120 grand more than the Portofino 57? We'll see. The layouts and such, I would find the Tana 47 more appropriate for my lifestyle. However, I find the Fountain Pajots look a little unfinished. The bottom of their hardtop canopy bimini, is a little unfinished. Even the inside in the saloon, the roof seems a little unfinished, but that's just my perceptions. The Nautica is finished to a T. The Max 48 SC base is in US dollars. It's manufactured in Vietnam, and it has a base of $795,555. That is an exceptional value. 726,000 euro. So it is by far the lowest cost. It's, a good sort of 40 grand lower than the lowest, which is the Fountain Pajot. And it is longer, more boat, and we'll see better materials. We have a wait and see on the level of finish as to what Terry's doing on the inside. Looking across at length overall, the longest one here is the Balance at 51.8, followed by the Portofino at 51, the Max at 47.9, and the Fountain Pajot at 45.7. Beam on these, the widest beam is the Portofino at 27 feet, followed by the Nautica actually at 26.2, then the Max at 26.1, then the Balance at 25.9, and finally the Fountain Pajot at 25.3. Draft on these, this is where it gets interesting. The Balance obviously comes with dagger boards, so it'll go to a minimum of 3.81 feet. The Max Cruise, you can option either dagger boards or mini keels. So on the mini keels here, you're at 1.35. Which the Fountain Pajot actually overall with the mini keels is the shallowest draft at 3.9 feet. Then you've got on the mini keels, it'll be the Max at 4.5. Actually, the Portofino at 4.3, Max at 4.5, and then the Nautica at 5.1. Looking at light ship displacement, this will make you sit up and take notice real quick. It is the Max Cruise at 10.6 ton. That's significant. The Balance is 12.5, followed by the Nautica at 13.5, and for a production boat, that's pretty remarkable. Followed by the Fountain Peugeot at 14.7 and the Portofino at a hefty 16.5. Hefty. I mean, it's not hefty, given this is a 51-foot yacht made out of aluminum. I can't imagine if you compared that with a Lagoon or the Leopards. This is a very attractive number still. Upwind sail area. Now, most of these, I usually do this comparing the self-tacking jib. It's becoming a little more difficult because a lot of manufacturers some of the manufacturers are not specifying a self-tacking. They're going with a Genoa. So on this one, I have done a Genoa comparison, and you can run the numbers for the Kel sail if you wish on the jibs. But here we are, upwind sail area with Genoa. You're looking at, on the Tana, at 1,390 square feet. The Portofino is 1,474. The balance is a whopping 1,748. The Nautitech, a very strong 1,658. And the max at 1,310. So the max on the upwind sail area is actually the lowest, although, again, significantly lower on its weight. As we go across then on engines, pretty standard here. You've got 50 horsepower on the Tana, 47 on the Portofino, 45 on the Balance, twin 60s on the Nautitech, and twin 40s on the Max 48 SC. Now, the Max 48 SC is the only one of the bunch that offers a full hybrid solution. So that is using diesel with an electric motor attached. And so you can go diesel only, electric only, diesel using the electric motor to charge the batteries, and regen on electric when you're sailing without either. A very unique system. Well, not as unique. You're seeing it show up on more and more vessels. But Terry has done a lot of these so far, so he has a great deal of experience in them. And it'll cost you just over $100,000 to have that option, but you're getting all that battery capacity as well. As far as fuel and water goes, the leader here is going to be the Tana, the Fountain Peugeot at 900 of fuel and 700 of water, followed by the Balance at 800 and 780, followed by, well, it's debatable. The Nautitech is 600, the Max is 600 and 400, and then the Portofino 440 and 550. Now, the next section down is one that I am challenging you to challenge the manufacturers to get filled in. It's a look at interior area, exterior area, just like we look at in our houses. I'm not sure why we couldn't figure out what we would not buy a house without knowing what the square footage of the house or the square footage of the yard is. So I'm not sure why we can't see that on a boat. And bless his heart, Terry is the only one who's done it. And so on interior area, you have 560 square feet, and exterior area, you have 721 square feet, and you'll see in the notes down below exactly what's included in that. Another area is storage, a key area for anybody considering a boat. I'm looking for interior enclosed storage and exterior lockers in square foot or cubic foot or cubic meter, similar to you'd do for a fridge. Nobody's got this so far. I think it's absolutely a key statistic and easy to do with the design technologies and softwares that they currently have. So bug your manufacturers to get those numbers out. Total fridge capacity, our friends at Fountain Peugeot and Max Cruise did deliver these. So on the Fountain Peugeot, you have 190 liters for fridge capacity and 90 liters for freezer capacity. And on the Max, the standard is 80 and 80. Of course, on these, you can get increase to that either with external freezers and fridges in the cockpit or in your flex rooms. Okay, diving into more of the technical here, we've got the hull material, and by far it is our friends at Max Cruise who have this beat. You've got e-glass and vacuum bagged heat-formed closed cell foam cores, and that is exactly what Balance does. And the reason it's done is as opposed to the little cubes or, bending it in sheets, you get the optimal resin saturation without excess, therefore reducing weight. And you can certainly see that in the Balance 48SC. The Balance also has pure vinyl ester resin, stitched fiberglass as its fiber, and then carbon fiber reinforcements in high load areas. Below the waterline is finished with an epoxy barrier and coating and anti-fouling. The next one is going to be the Balance. So you have e-glass, vacuum bag, heat-formed closed cell foam cores with a combination of polyester inner skin resin and vinyl ester outer skin resin. So, this is also what Outremer does. It makes sense. The external, the layer on the outside of the form is exposed to the weather and the wet. And it's vinyl ester, so it avoids any penetration. We did a little short on that recently. And the interior layer is structural and doesn't get exposed so bad, so you can go with the lower cost polyester. The rest of these are generally polyester, Tana 47 and Nautitech 48. My mistake. The Nautitech has the same as the Balance. Polyester inner and vinyl ester outer. And the Fountain Peugeot is a polyester. Of course, the Beast, the Portofino 47, is all aluminum. System voltages, you can see them across there. House battery bank. It's a little tough to figure out what the standard house battery bank is on some of these. I've got it 3 out of the 5 here. Fountain Peugeot with 7.2 kilowatt hours, the Balance with 3.8 kilowatt hours, and the Max at 4.8 kilowatt hours. Max factory solar for the Fountain Peugeot. It's flexible, integrated, 1,700 watts. Looks great, but there are those who would poo-poo it because it heats up and loses efficiency and has a lower lifespan. Max is using ventilated glass at 2,200 watts. Now, looking at indicators for performance, sail area to displacement, or an indicator of power. Here it is the Balance at 30.6, followed by the Nautitech at 27.6, followed by the Max Cruise at 25.6. Displacement to hull length at the waterline, or heaviness, here it's the lowest number wins, and by far it's the Max Cruise at 95.1, followed by the Balance at 109, followed by the Nautitech at 126. Then it's the Portofino at 162 and the Tana at 163. Now, looking at the KSP, or an indicator of speed at 10 knots, and again, this is only relative one to the other. It's a calculation based on weight, sail area, beam, all that good stuff. So this just gives you a sense of what boat might be the fastest in any given situation, but that depends, of course, on your sail plan, on your captain, etc., etc. Anyways, it's an indicator. And here we've got the Balance, who is the fast boy on the block at 87% of wind speed, followed by the Max at 82, followed by the Nautitech at 81, followed by the Portofino at 71%, and finally the Fountain Peugeot at 69. And really, that seems to be the general trend here. If you're looking at overall, and all of this so totally depends on what Terry puts out with hull number 1, which is scheduled for late April. But you're sort of seeing, the Balance at the top of the pile here, but you're paying for it. The Max next, the Nautitech next, followed by the Portofino and the Tana 47. However, the pricing of what you're getting for your Max is a great value. If you're enjoying this content and information, it does take a while to gather it. Please subscribe, give us a like, Definitely comment, because I learned so much from the audience on this, and it really does help us. And share this with a like-minded person who might look to subscribe as well. It costs nothing, and it really helps the channel. Thanks so much. Okay, hopping aboard, or at least we're going to circle around her on the renders here. What would Sylvia say? I think Sylvia would really like this. Now, again, it totally depends on what the interior works out with. You know that, as with the color of a vehicle, that's what counts when it comes to Sylvia. And I must admit, to me as well, it gives a real sense of either quality, as with a balance. My other favorites, of course, are Antares. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful finish. And my all-time favorite is the Naisna 50 that I was on at the show. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with it. The exterior needs a bit of an update, but crossing our fingers on the Naisna 55. But wow, I'm not sure why so many catamarans cut corners when it comes to the interior, as if we're all minimalists the minute we get on 2 hulls instead of 1. You look at a Passport or an Oyster or any of these, and they're utter works of art on the interior. And the catamarans, short of those ones I mentioned and the Privilege, really don't do the job. So crossing my fingers that Terry's group will make it happen. But look at the exterior here, beautiful front deck area, and you can see that lovely forward cockpit, nice flat cabin top with great lines, but nice window area as well. Coming around to the aft here, now you can see what we're talking about, how Terry has put in the dinghy lift. And you can't really see it here, but I did qualify with him that those davits there, those high davits, bring the dinghy up, and there is a lift off the aft bridge deck that comes out about 20 centimeters, 20 centimeters, 200 millimeters, with a 10-degree inward slant where your dinghy will just nestle in. And apparently, Max has their own dinghy they've designed, which I didn't get any images of for this episode, but will have for the 55, I hope. But great looking vessel all the way from every angle here. Looking down from the top, you can see that beautiful cockpit area and all the solar on the roof panel. And of course, because it's a relatively flat roof, putting nice glass ventilated panels is not a difficulty. Moving over now to the helm itself. In this render, you see a fixed bulkhead helm, and as I mentioned, Terry does have the option of giving you a Versa helm, which would drop in for inclement weather. And one last look here at the aft area. You have that nice settee. You do have built-in barbecues, built-in bottle storage. It's all there for you. Now we're going to hop on the aft port side here, and this gives you an idea of what your vantage point is from this image here. You're looking across. You can see the back of that aft settee. You can see across here. You're looking across the built-in barbecue, and you've got that nice L-shaped settee there, stairs up to your helm, in this case the fixed bulkhead helm. We're going to give you another quick look at this as the sun sets, and you can see the nice beautifully finished bimini roof there, ceiling, which I always like. A really comfortable helm seat and a really nice looking area. As we move now into the saloon, we're looking from the aft starboard side across to the forward port side, and you can see your nice U-shaped galley there, which is going to give you all sorts of bolsters. You even have grab rails along the forward section of the island. You're looking forward then out that beautiful door into the forward cockpit, giving you fantastic ventilation and a great forward-facing nav that has incredible views all over. And I did manage to get shots of hull number 1 in its semi-finished format. So you can see Terry's doing a nice job with rounded corners all the way around here. and nice veneers set in. I'm dying to see what this looks like. The helm station, or the chart table, looks really nice. That black background for all of the electronics there, it looks real good. So this is promising to turn out very nice. Okay, we're going to hop across to the port aft side, looking from the galley to the forward starboard side, and the settee, or the dining area that you can see right over there, that U-shaped dining area, and you can see the also the forward door and the chart table there, as well as that beautiful handrail along the forward section of the island, which is just tremendous for safety. Okay, let's look then from a similar perspective, although we're looking straight forward on this one, across the induction hob, the induction cooktop. You can see your refrigeration there in the island, and forward to that nav station, out the front door, and just off to the starboard side, the edge of the eating area there. Another look now, we're moved forward, looking across now just the island to the nav station, and now you can see that you also have the stairs downstairs there in the very forward starboard side, and out the doors there. Okay, now we are going to look across from the port side to the starboard side, just coming out of the stairwell. And you can see how good this actually looks here. And you can see the eating area there. And just as we come out here, you can also see, in this case, your optional Versa helm in its down position. You can imagine what a tremendous view you would have with the doors open, looking out the front from that helm position. Just tremendous. Okay, we're heading down the stairs. We're in the port side hull. We're looking from the outside. So if you can think of this, the bow of the boat is to the left-hand side of your screen here. So aft of the stairs, to your right, is your head. And then forward of the stairs to your left is the shared shower. So we're coming down the port side stairs. We're going to head forward to the shower first. And you can see, it's a good shower space. And it's shared among, and it, of course, dedicated, so dry head. That's just tremendous. Okay, backing out again now. We are going to head forward and have a closer look at the front bunk areas here. So you can see, again, we're in the port hull, looking from the outside in. You can see that athwartship bunk there with the stairs coming up on the one side. So you have two-sided access to your bunk, lots of storage. So we're going to zoom in on this bunk a little bit here and let you have a closer look from a different angle. You can see the two-sided access to this berth. Then we are heading forward to something very, very interesting for you, and that is, in this configuration, Terry has it set up as a workshop. You can see a fantastic workshop. Lots of bench space, lots of storage space, but that is not the only configuration. You can have that set up in a number of ways. You could have a private head there with shower, the whole shebang. Again, Terry's got a very flexible setup here. Here it is. We're looking at that bunk again, that two-sided access berth with a head setup instead of your workshop setup. Okay, backing out again, we are heading aft, and we're going to take a peek now at the aft shared, or it could be private, day head, whatever. The head here, you can see very, very comfortable. Nothing wrong with that at all. You've got a nice sink there, the head there, and remember, further forward past the stairs is the shower that could be used as a day head or dedicated to the forward cabin, depending on how you've got or dedicated to the aft cabin, depending on how you've got the forward cabin space there. I myself, in that forward cabin area, would turn it into that workshop just the way it was shown first. Okay, backing out from the head, we are going to head back to the aft guest berth. So you can see here, it is a pseudo butt scoot bed with a little bit of access up the outside of it. Not a great deal. Here we're looking from the outside of the hull so you can see how it looks. But you do have the mother of all windows, similar to the HH design in that aft bulkhead. So you're not going to be short of any window space or ventilation space. So we're just going to head now forward and then up the stairs. You have another last little peek at that aft cabin as we head up and out and across. Now, we are on the other side here, looking at where we just came out of. You can see to the other side, slightly aft, the stairwell just aft of the nav station. That's where we just came out of. So here is another view of the actual vessel, hull number 1, under construction from that same perspective. And you can see right in the foreground on the left, the rounded corners. So I salute Terry and his crew going to those nice rounded corners. That's just absolutely tremendous. Okay, backing out, we are on the other side now. We are on the starboard hull. We're coming down those stairs that we were looking at from that perspective. So on the starboard hull, just forward of the stairs, we have the head, which you can see right here. Looking forward, you've got, now this is all of your owner's hull. So this is dedicated to the owner. Got a beautiful head, lovely looking large shower in the forepeak there. You can see you got lots of mirrors, lots and lots of storage space right up behind the head there. Now we're going to go forward again past the staircase and into the cabin itself. And here we're looking at a beautiful makeup table, lots of cabinet storage here. We're going to head aft. And again, you can see that makeup table on the right side of your screen, and you can see the two-sided, or sort of pseudo two-sided access to the master berth. It is a butt scoot bed. You got access from one side, a bit of a hike up there, but you have the mother of all windows right behind you and beautiful windows along the side hull. Here's another closer look at that. Look at the amount of cabinet space you have there on the right side of your screen, plus all that storage space under the berth itself. Lots of ventilation overhead and to the side. Really nice setup. Now here it is in much more of a teak look, which looks very warm. You know, my only concern with the other image was that it looks a lot of exposed fiberglass. This one looks a lot warmer. Obviously room for a built-in TV as well here. I'm really anxious to see how they finish the interior. You know, Seawind, another manufacturer in Vietnam, really left so much exposed, nicely fared, but exposed plastic. And even Nick and Teresa commented on it. Nick started putting a laminate over top of it to warm it up because they came out of a beautiful Discovery, which is, you know, a fine crafted wood interior. And I think, you know, you really got to look at what Antares has done, what Neisner has done, and bring up the level of finish and the warmth of these catamarans. It's desperately needed. Okay, we are now looking back at that lovely bathroom so that you can have another look at the shower here, and then we're heading up the stairs. We are now again looking across. We're looking aft to the port side because we're just in the starboard hull, and we're back in the saloon, a very comfortable looking area. The back on the outside, just to give you another look, beautiful looking exterior of this vessel, and that lovely forward cockpit. Okay, a little naval gazing, and I'm not going to do technology this time. I'm going to go back to layout. Here is the current layout of the 48 SC. Very nice. Love the forward cockpit. And this render was before I think they changed up the aft wall and put in a much more sort of see-through bench back there with the built-in barbecue and such. But this is what you're looking at right now with your U-shaped galley on the port aft, U-shaped settee on the starboard wall, and your nav station on port forward, and your offset door more offset to the port side through to your forward cockpit. Now, what I would do is a little different. First of all, I would not do a fore-aft butt scoot bed. I would rather convert that to a thwartship aft berth underneath the helm area. I think that gives you full three-sided access, and it's what everybody wants. I've talked to so many people, and I think manufacturers are missing the point that if the ladies don't like these things, we're not buying them. And most folks, ladies and men, don't want a butt scoot bed. They want to be able to get out of that bed to one side without disturbing their partner and it be comfortable. So that would be change number one. I do a bunch of changes in the saloon, mimicking probably a little more of the layout of the HH50. I don't even really like the HH52. The HH50 is a little bit better. In this case, I've turned the galley around so the U-shape, the full counter faces aft, and you have something of an island bit that also houses a vertical TV that comes out, similar to the HH50. And that other little light blue blob forward there is the wine fridge, which can then be seen from your seating area across to the starboard. On the starboard, I'd turn that U into an L and open up that area. And then I would put something similar to, I guess, the angular stuff that Fountain Peugeot is doing to allow access to the stairs there. But I'd use that space and have a separate seating area. Again, my wife and I, when we're at home, we have separate love seats that we like to sit on and lounge. And, she has hers, I have mine. We watch TV. I don't want to be stuck with just one seating area. I want two separate seating areas in the saloon. And I would put in split tables that open up and turn into one big one, but again, go down into real coffee tables because 9 times out of 10, you're eating in the aft cockpit anyways. And why clutter up your saloon with giant eating tables that are never used as eating tables? And then, of course, you have your access through to your forward cockpit. Now, I am a easy chair naval architect. Don't know if all this will fit, but I think something similar to it could fit. The alternative would be this format here, where you have the galley, a little larger U shape. You have the same sort of semi-island facing the starboard side where your TV pops out of. You'd have your refrigerator and such over on the starboard side, just aft of the stairs. A nice L-shaped settee. with, again, a table that converts to a full coffee table, as well as can be used as a dining table, similar to what Outremer has done in their 52. And then over on the other side, a little eating table, which you're not going to need that much anyways. So this would just be permanent table with some swing out stools if you really want them. But for Sylvia and I, this is all we'd ever need for most of our eating time. Again, I would turn the port side into a full owner's hull with an athwartship forward berth, full three-side access, walk-in closet in the forepeak, a separate head and sink, and showers, and then beautiful forward aft bathroom area similar to a balance with double sinks. I want to say that again, double sinks, and a massive shower and wet hang area. I just think this creates a far more luxurious layout space. So hopefully we'll start to see some of these in future yacht designs, because the current designs, whether it's the new Naughty-Tech 48 or so many of them, they just don't have separate seating areas. They're not focused on bed access. They're all butt scoot beds. It's just not necessary. We can do it. Balance has shown it. Others have shown it. The HH50, the Saloon, is a very, very nice layout with separate seating areas. These are important livability issues. So I will leave it to you. Now, of course, I couldn't go any further. Terry's got a beautiful yacht here with that coveted forward cockpit. All it's missing, of course, is a fly lounge. And how can we do the fly lounge without sacrificing our solar area? Well, we kind of take a page out of, believe it or not, the XS book on what they've done with a convertible fly lounge here. And we've got our solar panels, which if you look up at the top section there, fold back and on top of each other, as you can see in the bottom section, with two tables that can raise up. And then once the back pops up and the tables pop up and out, you have a full, beautiful fly lounge that doesn't impede the height of the boom or the access to solar. And you even have a pop-up shade that you can have, similar to what they've done on the forward cockpit for the Lagoon 55. So I beat this drum daily, have yet to see somebody do it, so cross my fingers. Okay, so what do we compare this to in pre-owned comparables? Well, the big boy on the block is the Leopard 50, of course, with the forward cockpit, the fly lounge, everything that you could want. But boy, you pay for it in weight and performance. So we're looking here at a 2021. They're asking $1.349 for a 4-year-old boat. Of course, we're looking at our base plus 50% for our estimated sail away of 1.2-ish on the Max Cruise 48 for a brand new boat. If the Max Cruise promises what it seems to promise, I'd do the Max Cruise. The Leopard 50, the owner's cabin, they've gone with 4 cabins, bless their heart, it's great, but the owner's cabin is a tad tight, given the size of this vessel, as is the berth. But I'd do Terry's boat on this one. Next up, we're looking at a Bally 4.8. Again, beautiful forward cockpit, very unique aft lounge area with the garage door. It is a full fly helm, so you don't have the same communication. They're looking at $1 million versus $1.2 million. I'd take the Max Cruise. Your quality of hull, your sailability, everything is there for it. Next up is a Fountain Peugeot Saba 50. 2020, so it's a 3-year-old boat. They're asking 1.4 versus our 1.2. Not a hope in Hades. I would take Terry's. I'd take the Max 48 SC. Finally, something really different. We've got a 2018 Chris White Atlantic 49 mast foil. And actually, this is finished off very nicely inside. This is about a 5-year-old boat. They're asking 1.175 or 1.2-ish, about the same as Terry's. I would do the Max 48 SC. And finally, another Vietnamese entrant, the 2021 Sea Wind 1600. I believe this is a passage maker version with the wider hulls. And they're looking 1.250 for a 2-year-old boat versus 1.2 for the brand new. Now, these are pretty comparable in that the Sea Wind is full vinyl ester. I generally, though, prefer Terry's layout. I prefer the helm position, and I prefer the forward lounge. So, looks like the Max Cruise 48 SC made a clean sweep. Okay, monohull heresy. What do we compare this to in monohulls? Of course, we add 20% to the length to get equivalent living space. And first up is a 2018 Bavaria C57. Beautiful vessel, especially if it's got the walnut finish inside. So we're looking at about a 5-year-old boat. They're looking 750 grand versus 1.2. For the livability and everything, I wouldn't, I would immediately do the Max Cruise 48 SC. Next up is a Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 62, a 2018 5-year-old boat. A very, very attractive boat, hard top, everything inside. 1.4 versus 1.2. This one, it would really depend on what the finished interior, believe it or not, of the SC looks like, the 40 SC, because this Beneteau, although I'm not a fan of the saloon layout, is exceptionally beautiful and nicely finished and has a football field of an aft swim platform. So we'll call this one a draw. Next is a Jeanneau 60 Yacht. 2022, so it's a 1-year-old boat. I love this boat. They're asking 1.5 versus 1.2. I love the boat. Depending on the finish of the 48 SC, this could be a toss-up. Jeanneau, in my opinion, have done a lovely job on the inside of this boat. It's got the hard top. It's got dinghy garage. It's a really beautifully done boat, and for a production boat, very high level of finish. All depends on what Max Cruise does with the interior of theirs. So we'll call this one a draw. Next is one of my favorites, a 2019 Hansa 588, so 4-year-old boat. They're looking for 825 grand versus 1.2. So, I'm looking at 375 delta. I do like the Hansa 588. I would consider it, but I'd lean towards the Max Cruise. Finally, we've got a Grand Soleil 58, beautifully finished boat. This is a 5-year-old boat. They're looking for 861,000. Again, totally depending on what Terry does, the Max Cruise Group do on the interior of their vessel, how they finish it up. I'd probably be leaning towards the Grand Soleil on this one, but the benefits of the Catamaran are just so huge, and with that forward cockpit, my leaning is, I'm going to call it a draw. So we got 2 winners for a Max Cruise and 3 draws in the monohull heresy category. We all know, of course, I'd never convince Sylvia to tolerate the healing, so Max Cruise wins. Okay, we are on the Dave score. How did she do? Well, we've done a lot of boats. We're heading down. That green line shows up real quick here. So digging into it, she did very, very well. You got a Max Cruise 48 SC preliminary, amongst the likes of an Outremer 55, the Wave 50, The Rapido 53XS, which is quite a wild boat, and the HHOC 50. Actually a point behind on this, which is going to ruffle some feathers. But let's look across. Elegance, and this is all very, very preliminary. That figure of 6 on the interior could go up to 8, depending on what Max Cruise does. Exterior, 7. That external forward cockpit is fabulous. I'd love to see how the davit and dinghy system works out, as well as the Versa helm. Comfort on the interior, we're going to give it a 7. Depending on the layouts, that could easily go up 2 points. The exterior, an 8. Very nice exterior. Forward cockpit's tremendous. Quality, I can't tell yet, but based on his hull standards and talking to him, Max Cruise is going to put out a high-quality vessel. Performance, definitely an 8. Lazy Sailor, an 8. Everything that comes back, it's very nicely done. Condo, definitely an 8. Geek factor, it's an 8 with some of the innovation he's done, especially the hybrid drive. And value for money, at this point, it looks like a solid 8, if not better. So that brings us to 76 out of 100 on the Dave score. For our Art of the Region this week, we're looking at To Ngoc Van, boats on the Perfume River. To Ngoc Van is the pride of Vietnamese painting. He was also named for a street in Hanoi and in Ho Chi Minh City. He contributed to Vietnamese art with his unique works of international standard. To Ngoc Van succeeded in using oil paint material in Vietnam. He tried to express the charming beauty of the contemporary Vietnamese, especially through the portrait of young women. Ngoc Van was born in December 15, 1906, although some sources record his birth as 1908. In Xuan Chau Village, Van Guai District, Hoang Yen Province. Ngoc Van was born as a poor boy and skipped school during his 3rd year in high school to follow his dream of becoming an artist. In 1926, he was able to pass the entrance exam in the Vietnamese University of Fine Arts during the first generation of the school and graduated 2 years later. Ngoc Van painted many places in his artwork, some of which include Bangkok, Hue, and Phnom Penh. He was also a writer and art critic in the art press. Regarded as a revolutionary hero and one of Vietnam's greatest painters, he died in 1954 from injuries he suffered at the Battle of Dien Bien Phu. In 1996, he was posthumously awarded the Ho Chi Minh Prize, one of the country's highest honors. Christie's sold Boats on the Perfume River by To Ngoc Van for $57,000 US in 2016. Boats was painted in 1935 and acquired from a private collection in Germany. Well, that's our Waves Wine Art and Ideas for one more week. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I know we've done about 3 future yachts in a row, but there's some really exciting stuff coming down the pike to the catamaran market. What Max Cruise and Terry and his group are doing could be a really innovative entry and a real category dominant design. We have crossed our fingers to see what he does with it, and all our best to him and the team. They really are extremely responsive to any questions I've asked. Terry's been incredibly supportive and fast in his response. Him and Tamash hold the prize for the fastest responses in both CEOs of their company. So hats off to you guys. Thanks so much. And Terry, thank you very much for helping us out on this one. Stay with us. We're back next week with another exciting yacht. Hope you're enjoying it. Cheers.